more effective that illusion is. The art of deception. There are many ways that you can add deception to your serve, but the aspect we're going to look at today is going to be using your bat to create different effects. So stick around and see if you can replicate any of these skills. Now, as I've mentioned, there are many ways to create deception in your serve. It could be the flight of the ball, it could be trying to keep things looking as similar as possible, but specifically we're going to be looking at different motions that can create some different effects. And when I started to develop these different skills, I started to see improvement in my game. I started to create more opportunities, force more mistakes from my opponent, and this really kick-started my journey of being fascinated with serving. So I'm going to show you one basic serve. We're going to keep it the same the entire way through, but we're going to look at 4 different finishes. Okay, so it'll be the same spin, the same result on the table, but we're going to be using our arm and our hand and the bat to try and create some different illusions and to create some doubt from our opponent too. So we're going to take the short pendulum serve as our base serve. I'm not trying to deceive anything here. There's a short, sharp action. I'm keeping the same angle through that serve, and my bat's finishing over the table. So I'm not trying to confuse or deceive my opponent at this point. So just while I'm working through that serve, I'm just trying to be mindful of what height I'm making contact, where my bat finishes when I'm ending the serve, the general shape and the feel of the serve. So the first movement, there's no real deception or trickery involved, just some analysis on my part of what it looks like and what it feels like. Now the first movement we're going to look at is moving the bat upwards. So I'm going to try and create the illusion that it could be topspin. And I'm going to do that by moving my racket up after I've created the backspin. So I'm just starting to play around with that finishing point, just being mindful of the length of my stroke, the speed in which I'm moving the arm up. At the moment, my stroke is a little bit too long, and then that means that there's a lot for me to try and change. And that visually can be a little bit easier for your opponent to see. So the thing that I need to try and correct there is to make this action a little bit shorter, and that will make this topspin effect look a little bit more realistic. Okay, so now maybe I'm overdoing this topspin action. It's a little bit big, a little bit elaborate, can sometimes not look quite right to your opponent. So again, maybe now I need to work on making that a little bit more subtle. Now I'm trying to be mindful of pulling the bat upwards and out and around the ball. Quite a common error on this one is to kind of just twist the bat over the top and forwards, and it doesn't quite create the same illusion, and it's harder to create that good quality backspin as well. So just looking at the details of the direction of that pull. Okay, so the second move is the fake topspin motion. Okay, the third variation is going to be backspin, creating a really short action. There'll be a short pause, and then my bat's going to move down below the table. So I'm serving backspin, and I'm finishing with backspin. But that little pause in the middle is just what creates a little bit of doubt, makes them think, what are they up to? And then the movement down afterwards makes it look like I'm trying to make it look like backspin. So it's almost a little bit of a double bluff, this variation. So a small, short flicker spin, and then that bat firing down below the table. And again, that might make them think, that's got to be him trying to disguise a float ball. The bat comes in a little bit neutral, and then it shoots down into the table. And the fourth and final variation is going to be moving the bat around the other side of the ball, just to create the potential illusion that the ball might be going the other direction. Sometimes called the fake reverse or the snake serve, but effectively we're trying to emulate a reverse pendulum serve. Again, the smaller and the shorter the action is on the contact to create the spin, the more effective that illusion is when we're moving around the outside of the ball. If that initial action is too big, then it's a big movement to try and disguise. So keeping that action nice, short and sharp, and then moving the bat around. And again, being careful that we're not moving it around and forward. We don't quite create the illusion that way. Making sure we move out and around the outside of the ball. It's that outward motion that's going to really sell the illusion of the serve. So we've got keeping the serve very simple and straightforward. We've got that upward motion to potentially give the illusion that we're creating topspin. We've got that pause and then that exaggerated movement downward. And then finally, we've got that fake reverse or snake serve variation right at the end to make them think that it could be moving in the opposite direction. So this is a great way to train. Pick a serve. How many different movements can you make afterwards? This is how you start to build a repertoire of deception in your serves. A real fun one to practice. So make sure you head to the hall and spend some time doing it. And I want to know in the comments, let me know what movements you already use in some of your serves. Maybe you have a fake movement within your tomahawk variation. Maybe it's with your backhand variation. Let me know how you use your deceptive moves. As ever, thank you very much for watching. Thank you for your support. The channel is growing really well. The support with the super thanks and the virtual coffees just make all the difference. They help support what I'm doing. They help cover the costs for hall hire. And it just lets me know that you're finding the content useful and you appreciate it too. So thanks again for all the support. Make sure you like, subscribe and comment too. See you at the next one. Hello? Is it working? So stick around. So the thing that I need to try and create, so a little flicker, a small short flicker spin,